One thing I saw at the group down the stretch was a dog mentality to get the next stop. We had, made a stretch and made a really good run down the stretch of the game, and I think that they turned it on during that timeout. And I think that, great teams turn into a different person, a different beast, a different group when you come out of ATOs and we, do certain things and need certain things. And I think, they didn't tuck with your quote-unquote tail. They kind of came out in that timeout.
About kind of viewing these two games with the Aces as like a little mini playoff series.
Yeah.
How do you, as a veteran and as a leader,
Yeah.
how do you go about leading your team without actually having played in a playoff series before, down the stretch of the season?
That's a really good question. I think right now we have to realize and I mean, that's a really awesome question. I think, like you said, we have to visualize it like it is a series. And knowing that it's the series with Vegas Aces, I think you don't get no better than that from like seeing where you are standpoint. I think that we got to gauge on where we are, just, reigning champs, and I think that we put ourselves in a position to go back to film, see what we can, be better at. And as a leader, it's my job to make sure that we have confidence, because even though we lost, even though things didn't go our way, confidence is always going to uproot anything else, and I think that we got to have that going into Friday.
Go Christine, then Alexa.
Kelsey, as tough as it was, right, missed shots and turnovers and whatever, you guys were kind of always close enough. Was there that sense that if you could have made a run, that you could have?
Oh, for sure.
And is there a positive to take from that?
Yeah, that's what I was telling to the previous question. It's not all bad. I think that, considering we used to play the Vegas Aces, especially this year alone, on my first game, and you look back to this, third or fourth game, hats off to our group, because we came a lot of different ways on both ends of the floor. And if we could have got, an extra possession here and there offensively, of course, I think that we would have had a better position and, go ahead and get what you guys usually see. But, life happens. Shots don't always fall, and I think it's a part of the game.
Go Alexa, then James on the right.
Kelsey, over here, kind of going off that question earlier, when you guys think about the goals that you have for this season as well and for longer term, and then you look at a team like the Aces who have won 2 championships, what are some of the qualities that they have that you guys think you can emulate and kind of the push for you guys to be contenders?
Oh man, I think the one thing I saw at the group down the stretch was a dog mentality to get the next stop. We had, made a stretch and made a really good run down the stretch of the game, and I think that they turned it on during that timeout. And I think that, great teams turn into a different person, a different beast, a different group when you come out of ATOs and we, do certain things and need certain things. And I think, they didn't tuck with your quote-unquote tail. They kind of came out in that timeout and kind of went on another run, and I think that's what you see from the best.
Go James and Matt.
Kelsey, what was it about that second quarter that made it so difficult to score, and how did you like the response that you all showed?
Oh man, I think that anytime you guys don't see us defend and see us get stops, you won't see us in transition where we really are our best. I think, hands down, one of the best transition teams I've ever been a part of, and I think you guys see that when we defend. And I think, down the stretch, Tiff Hayes got loose, and then Kelsey Plum got loose, and we didn't stop the bleeding enough on the defensive end to kind of get what we wanted in that second quarter. I don't think so.
Go Matt, then we'll finish up with Dom in the back.
Kelsey, Lexi gets in foul trouble in the second, Aaliyah gets in foul trouble in the fourth. Seemed like there was a lot of different lineup combinations out there. How much of a role, if at all, do you think that played in, maybe not being able to get that,
I think it's always a next man up mentality from our group, but like I said, down the stretch, you saw who Asia Wilson was and what she could bring to the table, and I think that collectively, no matter who is in or out, we have to pay attention to be more mindful and be more disciplined to keep our best of the best a part of those runs, and during next man up, be disciplined. I think our discipline kind of like shot us in the foot today.
Dom, last one in the back.
Yeah, Kelsey, it just kind of felt like a grind offensively.
Yeah, it really was.
In this one today, was it kind of, you look in the mirror like that's on us? Were they doing something defensively? And then playing this team on Friday, what can you look? I know you haven't looked at the tape yet, but just something you can take away to have better success on Friday.
Oh man, I think for us to even be in conversation Friday, to be a team like that, we have to, the 50-50 balls, the outworking, taking that foul, that aggressive foul, not meaning to hurt anybody, but obviously, we got to be intentional with everything we do going into Friday, and we can't play around with it. I think that we all kind of like lapsed, and we kind of like took whatever, we took whatever they gave us, and we didn't have to. And so I think going into our next maturation, our next group, and our next phase of Friday, we can't take anything. We have to punch first, and when they do punch back, we got to be able to stand up and get back to it.
All right, thank you, everybody.